Hi, I'm Shawn Fletcher from Clackamas ESD. Today we're going to take a look at how to build a spreadsheet to track points for an individual point card for a student. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a sample point card. This team wanted to do something similar to check in, check out, but they wanted to have more opportunities to give the student feedback throughout the day. So you can see they have activities for check-in, morning routine, a chunk for class, specials, morning recess, and the list goes on. Over here, one of the things the student was really struggling with was to arrive on time from transitions, and so there's a spot for bonus points. Then there's the scoring rubric with ones and twos, and the daily average that we're shooting for is 80%. So with this in mind, what we're going to do now is we're going to open up a Google spreadsheet and start building a template to be able to track the scores for this. Once you're in your Google Docs, you're going to go to Create, and we're just going to say Spreadsheet. And you can title it whatever you want. Now that we have our spreadsheet open, what we're going to do is go through and list all the different activities across this top bar so that we can keep track by section of the day. I love setting point card trackers up like this because it basically will be able to give us routine analysis when we just take a quick look at our data collection. So we're going to get started with check-in. We're going to leave space in column A for the date, so we're going to start with check-in here. Now that we have the activities for the day kind of mapped out here across the top column, we're going to add another column for the bonus points. Now that we have that set, we're going to put in some dates. So we're going to start off with today's date. And then we're going to put in tomorrow's date too. And with spreadsheets, what you can do is highlight two things that are that have a pattern that you're wanting. So we're going to highlight and then grab this little box here in the corner, and you can just drag it down and it will continue that pattern. So this will give us kind of a date range to look at. Now that we have the dates in, I realize that I am missing a column to do the subtotals. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert a new column. And you can do that by clicking on the column that you want your new column to go in next to. Click Insert, and we're going to say we want a column to the left. So this is going to be our daily percent. You can clean up your spreadsheet and save room by just placing your cursor on one of the midlines and double clicking, and it will shorten each one of your columns to the length of the words that are in the column. Okay, now that we've got the daily percent in place, we need to do a little bit of math. We know that there are 10 different times to check in during the day, and there's a total of 6 points for each of those times, which means that the student has the opportunity to earn 60 points throughout the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an equation to be able to determine the daily percentage. So here under the daily percentage column, we're going to say that we're going to go over to functions, and we're going to say that we want this to do a sum of all of these scores that are going to be put in. And then we're going to want that sum divided by 60, which is the total number of points that are possible. And push return. So now that equation is in this box. And again, with spreadsheets, it makes it really easy for you. If you want it to do that on multiple boxes, you just click on the one that has everything entered the way you want it, and you can just drag it down. Another thing we're going to want to do is format these boxes. So we're going to highlight each one of these, and we're going to say Format, Numbers, and we are actually going to say that we want a percentage, which is right here. The next thing that we're going to want to do is be able to determine what kind of points the student's getting in each one of these settings. So we're going to go down to the bottom, and I like to skip one line, and right here we're going to call this row that goes across the daily average. So we're going to click in this box and again go up to the functions button, and we're going to want the average. And we're going to get the average for all these boxes in the line and push return. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to freeze this top row, because what you can see is we're scrolling down and you can't see what each one of the settings is. So one of the functions we can do is click on a row and go to View, Freeze Rows, Freeze Row number 1. So now as we scroll down, we can still see what it is that we're working with here. So again, we've put the equation in down here for the daily average that we want, and all I'm going to do is grab this little corner right here and drag it across to the end. It gives you this error note because there's no data in your spreadsheet, so as you put data in, it will correct that error. I like to also have a percentage along with the daily average. So on here we're going to say percentage. And we know that the total points for each day in a column is 6. So what we're going to say is we want this down here to equal this divided by 6. And that will give us our percentage. And again, just drag it across. If we want it to look like a percentage, we'll highlight these boxes. We'll go up to Format, Numbers, and again I want percentages rounded right here. So there we have 100%. So now what we're going to do is set up some conditional formatting. We're going to highlight this whole row that says daily percentage. Go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and we're going to say that we want things that are between 80% and 100% to be green. And you can just change this color over here. We're going to save our rule. Now we can do a little test. So as the percentage populates, then if it's above 80%, it will turn green. Okay, so now we're going to enter a couple different charts. The first thing we're going to do is do a daily average chart. So we're going to highlight these two rows with the date and the percentage. We're going to say File, Insert, Chart. We're going to go with the good old column chart here and Insert. And you can see it just drops it right in the middle of our spreadsheet, which we don't want. So if we click up here in the corner, we can go down to Move to Own Sheet. And you can see it pops up as its own sheet. And we can rename that. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I hope that helps, and I wish you the best of luck.